You are now listening to Mighty Champions Action Figure Radio.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Mighty Champions Action Figure Radio. My name is John Sargent.
And my name is Christian McGann.
Thank you very much for joining us once again if you're coming back, and thank you for joining us for the first time if you're just discovering the show. We're happy to have you guys. What we do here is, you probably figured out, we talk about action figures. We're all over the map. We talk about wrestling, superheroes, little G.I. Joe and Transformers and video games. We're all over the place. And we just have a good time doing it. What we're going to talk about today is we are going to basically fantasy build the perfect toy store. We're going to kind of go over the toy stores that we've been to and around us, what's good, what's bad, and take all the best stuff, put it all together, and make the ultimate vintage toy store. We're going to give you guys the news of the week, and then we are going to do a top 10 countdown of the greatest action figures that never existed in the first place. I got my list. You got yours?
I got mine. I'm fired up for it.
I know. I'm so stoked. I love my list.
Dude, I was just almost like a mad scientist putting together the ultimate potion.
All right. What have you been up to for the last week or so?
So, not too much. Yeah, last week I did a deload week last week, so I didn't train in the gym.
Okay.
And so
therefore you didn't do anything.
Well, it was like I just felt like there was a lot of just downtime that is like very unusual. I'm very
and
much.
You don't just immediately go on eBay and start shopping like I do?
I mean, I was looking for sure, but then I think just to me, it's like if I'm not training, if I'm not like hitting in the cage, it just feels like I'm in an identity crisis. It's real weird for me. Yeah. So that's all of last week. This week, back into the swing of things, legitimately the swing of things, because I've been hitting the cage basically every day this week, which has been awesome. It's funny. I mentioned to you, I think, in the last week or so, but I was hitting with a dude that plays Division II baseball, and we've hit together a couple, I think maybe 3 or 4 times now. Really cool having somebody that's like competing at obviously a pretty high level, and being able to talk shop, I think, is like really awesome because I take it incredibly serious. I take like the practice element very serious. I feel like it's just like this thing that I just can't get out of my system. And so to be able to have somebody to be able to talk about it, like after, hitting and being able to see like, all the different components of hitting a baseball. And so that was really cool. And he was like, all right, man, well, I got to go. I'm heading back to school, whatever. It's good hitting with you, whatever. Realized I don't even know his name. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
dude at baseball.
Well, like, we literally never met. It's like a Ron Swanson kind of like, I still don't know his name.
Yeah, we still don't talk sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, that was really cool. So this week in particular, it's just been getting back into the cage, back into the gym training. I felt like so unbelievably destroyed physically that that's why I feel you. Yeah, it was like a forced deload week, which is, for anybody who obviously is listening, deload is essentially a tapered lower volume week of training, where you're kind of taking it easy, allowing yourself to recover from, the recent bouts of high intense training. And for my deloads, I usually just take the week off because I'm just like, dude, I don't want to just kind of go into the gym and just kind of like do 1 or 2 sets. I would rather just like rest for the entire week.
Yeah.
So coming back in this week, pretty fired up on that. And then, outside of that, just been working on I do like some writing stuff, and getting back in the swing of like writing more regularly has also been it's always something that's like a boomerang. It just like comes back around every time. Can't really deny it.
Yeah.
But
can't put it down permanently.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then I also watched a couple things. One thing in particular that I had never seen before. So this might blow some people's mind. I don't know, but I watched the Goofy movie for the first time.
You had never seen the Goofy movie?
I've seen the extremely Goofy movie.
Okay.
I saw that first. I didn't know that the other one existed. before that.
Dude, there's been so many segments that we've done where Goofy movie was like an honorable mention that it like almost made the cut on like a countdown or a list or something that we've done, and it just hadn't come. I love the Goofy movie.
I thought it was great.
It's amazing.
Yeah, the art is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I just watched like an even more 4K version of it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, dude,
Pauly Shore, the Leaning Tower of Cheesa.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of voices in there that are like, that I hear now that I'm like, oh, I know who that is. Or I've heard, I think the big dude.
Pete's dad.
Pete's dad.
Pete's dad has been a Disney voice since like the 70s.
Yeah, he's got I think he was in a, I think he was maybe Spider-Man or X-Men or something like that. He's voiced a bunch of characters.
Prominent. Yeah, that dude is prominent his name, but that dude is prominent in voice acting.
Yeah. But it was so refreshing. I could see how that movie could definitely be somebody's comfort movie. Simply from the artwork alone. Yeah. I'm looking at it and I'm just like, man.
It's on my Letterboxd like watch list because I haven't seen it in a minute, and I actually bought it because I love it, even though it's just chilling on Disney Plus. I don't know. I really, really love that movie.
See, I watched the Extremely Goofy movie first,
and you were like, eh.
No, I love that movie. Okay. I thought it was great.
Which one's Bigfoot?
That's the Goofy movie. Yeah. But the Extremely Goofy movie, I watched it and I was like, and man, it used to just like make me cry because it's such a sad movie. The first one is also sad.
Yeah, it'll tug at the heartstrings a little bit.
They play the same kind of note of just him sort of like growing up, and then he grows up again in the Extremely Goofy movie where he's like, moving away from his dad.
That's one of the few Disney movies that is on equal ground to like superhero movies or whatever of the time. Like when I grew up, I watched like Aladdin and Lion King. Mm-hmm. I just didn't really care that much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I like them. They're fine, whatever. But if you were like, do you want to watch Spider-Man or Aladdin? Aladdin is not even a consideration.
Not at all.
But Goofy movie like penetrated. It got through. I was like binging that movie. What's the like Rockstar Livewire?
I think so. Yeah.
Power. Dang it! Yeah, Get At Us at Mighty Champions.
Holy crap!
I'm drawing a blank. But yeah, dude, I loved that movie when I was a kid, and that's the only thing that I would consider collecting figures of from Disney. Honestly,
that'd be cool if I'm sure they have them.
Something exists, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but I would consider if I had the space for that for sure. Anything going on this week, toy wise?
Toy wise, that's a good question. I told you I was going to buy something. I have not yet because we talked about this. You'll probably talk about it a little bit when we talk about some of your purchases, but with the eBay, it's like I get fired up because I'm like, oh, like somebody sent me an offer for a Power Ranger and it's $13 with shipping being like $8.99 or something like that. So it's just so enticing. But then I don't know why, but there's just something about the eBay process that makes me less fired up to want to.
Yeah, you're about the discovery.
Yeah, because then I'm like,
I am too, but I just want the thing.
I do want the thing, but I'm like, when I order it, I'm like, okay, cool, I'll probably get it in like a week or something. So I haven't bought anything, but I don't know. I might need to make a trek up to San Antonio like pretty soon. San Antonio's not that far, and then just go hit up some of these like couple spots out there because I'm getting real itchy at this point.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. This was a crazy week for me, toy wise and just life wise. I kind of hit a stride in kickboxing, like where it isn't as physically, it's more physically challenging from a cardio standpoint and a learning a skill standpoint, but it's less physically challenging from a aches and pains standpoint. So there are less limiting factors and I can kind of try harder, which is making it harder, if that makes any sense. And just coincidentally this week, I got paired up with the guy they call Vegeta. And I think he's like a multi-degree black belt. He's like the most experienced guy. And he was grinding on me. Not like beating me up, but like...
Or dancing on you, because I think that's the other term for grinding on
he just wouldn't let me catch a breath in a like trainer sort of way of like, no, keep going kind of fashion. I appreciate it. And it's like, I'm fortunate in an iron sharpens iron kind of situation. So I loved it. And whatever is going on, because I'm doing this kickboxing, is starting to have like a ripple effect out in the world, because I got some really good but weird compliments this week, just like out in the world.
Yeah.
I'm at Einstein Bagels. I had like an insomnia night where I just didn't sleep and my brain is just made of mashed potatoes. And I go to Einstein Bagels to try to like just get breakfast and coffee. And it's my turn to step up to the counter and my brain just shuts down and I forgot what I wanted. And I told the lady at the counter, she was probably just like just picture like somebody's, grandma or mom or something. She's like 65, just regular lady.
Yeah.
And I go, I'm sorry, I need a minute. And she goes, it's okay, I'm enjoying the view. And it caught me so off guard that I just...
Hey, if I were you, I would have said, average supermodel-esque lady working behind the counter, and then followed into that.
I keeps it real.
Okay. All right, that's fair.
Under normal circumstances, we would have had a back and forth. I did not have the brain power for it. But you know what? I was walking on air the rest of the day.
Dude, sometimes that just changes the course.
And then yesterday, I'm dealing with a member of the gym who's just out of his mind. He's an absolute crazy person.
Yeah.
And he starts telling me he's also an octogenarian. And he starts telling... I
don't even know what that is. What is it?
Over 80.
Oh.
Yeah.
God.
And he starts telling me, like, oh, yeah, I'm really fit. I can still climb trees. He's got...
How is that a way to gauge your level
what
of...
he told me.
I could still climb trees.
He said, I can still climb trees. I'm real fit. I've been towing trucks around the country.
Your truck's doing all the work.
And he goes, but I'll tell you what I need. And he reaches over and grabs my arm. And he goes, I need the guns. Like, I got to get on the gun show. And I was like, okay. It was making me pretty uncomfortable. But then he walked away and I was like, I mean, I guess I'll take
whatever comes. Yeah, it's like harmless in a way. You just have to get punished by an insane guy.
I guess I'll take what I can get.
Yeah.
So then my thought process was maybe the first people to notice are the elderly. And then it like comes down from there. And then by the time it's like 24-year-olds are like, yo, what have you been doing? Then you're good.
That's actually fascinating. Fascinating.
Yeah, because like, remember when you were a little kid and like this is a stolen joke, but like grandma's like, oh, can you help me with that gallon of milk? And you just like hoist it over your head and be like, this gallon of milk! Oh my God, you're the strongest boy alive.
Man, you might be onto something.
Yeah, I think I cracked the code.
Dude, that might actually be like a Harvard study of just like old people and the effects of physical appearance.
Yeah. And then from a toy standpoint, brother, I went on the toy hunt from hell yesterday. Actually, I went on the toy hunt in hell.
John's Inferno.
It was literal and figurative hell. Okay. Meaning it was 108 degrees outside. I even told you, like, we were together at work. I said, I'm going to go on a toy hunt. And I even was like, man, it's pretty hot outside. So, like, getting in and out of the car, like, kind of nonstop. And then just... What I didn't put together was this was on Friday, and that it is the Friday immediately before school starts. So I went to 4 Walmarts, and the parking lots were just dense. So you're parking on like the opposite end of the parking lot and having to walk like quite a ways, which I normally do that on purpose, just to get steps in. But dude, like it's hot, hot. I went to 4 Walmarts that are, I don't know, 8 or 10 miles away from one another. Like, it was a pretty big round trip.
It's also Friday. Traffic is just magnified.
Austin traffic, like Austin area traffic, was ludicrous.
Yeah.
And was just, what I was looking for was, we'll get to it in the news, but the Spider-Man vintage cards re-releases, which I'm just seeing all over social media that people are finding in just plentiful amounts. And I'm like, surely the state capital of the largest state in the frickin' union must have J. Jonah Jameson. No, I didn't find a damn thing in 4 Walmarts, a Ross, a Half Price Books, a DD's discounts.
Oof.
I was everywhere, man, and I came up empty-handed. I did see the shipper display for the Power Rangers Reignition, though.
Yeah.
It looks sick. It looks really, really cool. Like all together.
Technically, I did see the video that you posted was Electro in there, but you already pre-ordered him, right?
No, you saw the girl Electro.
Oh, I didn't even realize
you saw
that.
The girl
oh
Electro.
My god!
So I saw there was like a chameleon, but I already have it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I came up empty-handed, dude.
Wow.
Actually, that's not entirely true. So like, let's get to the weekly purchases. I went to all those places, and I also went to Bat City Toys.
Oh, really? Okay.
And had a pretty good browse through Bat City Toys. There were some vintage games that I was interested in. I just didn't really feel like pulling the trigger because I have spent quite a grip this week.
Okay.
But what I walked away with was the Altered Beast Jax figure that's going to go in my vintage games section, and it's cool, man. It's like, I don't even know how tall these are. 5 inches, 4 inches.
Yeah, 4 looks like it.
And it's like crazy articulated and detailed. Altered Beast is one of my all-time favorite video games, like just period, on Sega Genesis. So this will look cool in my video game display.
You're gonna open it, right, or no?
Yeah, I'm gonna open it.
Okay,
it's gonna go right next to the Axel
from
Streets of Rage, and then I'm on the lookout for the upcoming ones too. And then it occurred to me too, like I might as well get a Sonic and a Mario from whatever line. I really don't care, just because they represent interests, right?
Yeah.
So
that's fair. No, this one looks really cool. I love the articulation of it. It actually just has like a classic feel for the way that it's designed.
Yeah. It just looks like a cool figure.
Yeah, it looks like a cool toy. Like I would have played with this. Yeah, I still don't even really know what Altered Beast is, but
dude, we could play before you leave.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it until you mentioned it before. But that's
I got our buddy Chris hooked on it.
Yeah,
and like it's like one of just the sickest games ever. So I grabbed that in person at Bat City Toys here in Austin. And then he had a couple of the 10-inch Justice League figures that I've been scoping, but he had the Green Lantern that I've already gotten on eBay, which actually it has like a slim chance of arriving before we're done recording.
Wow.
And then I grabbed the Aquaman on eBay, which that specific Aquaman, I'm not like a huge Aquaman guy, but shirtless mullet hook hand Aquaman,
it's the best one,
is objectively cool.
Plus in the Justice League Unlimited, he's like angry. He's more angry at the world of like the surface dwellers.
Dude,
right?
I forgot until I like rewatched it like a year ago that you see his hand get cut off.
Yeah, you do.
Like he didn't just show up that way. There's an episode where a cartoon character gets his hand cut off. And I was like, dude, this is so gangster. Like, I love that Aquaman. I'm not the biggest general Aquaman guy, but that Aquaman is
I think that's the right way to do him. Like, without making him, like, corny or cheesy or whatever. Yeah. It's like, hey, he's this dude that rules the underwater kingdom and has, attempted to declare war on the surface world. That's amazing.
And his demeanor is more like a 90s gangster movie, like Drug Lord, or like something like that. He's hard AF. He's not goofy,
right?
And then I also got the Wonder Woman.
Cool.
So I'll have in a couple of days, I'll have in hand Superman, Batman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman. So that really just leaves Flash, Green Arrow, Martian Manhunter, and maybe Hot Girl. But
I think you gotta get her.
I think I do, but I'm just gonna get her last because she's on the box.
Oh yeah,
like she's part of the main core team.
She's a big part.
I just don't really care, but it's also not that expensive. It doesn't take up a great deal of space. So, and then I did actually pre-order that Electro that you're talking about because Big Bad Toy Store put it up for pre-order. And so I was like, I didn't do it at first, and then I was like, you know what? I might as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's retail price. Maybe they're going to update it and release an updated one later on, but who cares?
Yeah.
And then also from Big Bad Toy Store, they had like a daily deal, and I grabbed the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Super 7 Ultimate Bebop. I was pretty disappointed that they didn't also put up Rocksteady as a single. They had him in the Wave. They had Rocksteady in whatever Wave 4 or whatever that he came out with, which was like, I don't know, $200. And I was like, that obviously not. So I think Rocksteady is the only Super 7 Ultimate Ninja Turtle figure that I still need. I would get an April O'Neil and I would get a couple of Foot Soldiers, but maybe I will and maybe I won't. But Rocksteady is like for sure. So yeah, I had quite a bit of purchases and hardly anything in hand as of right now because I did virtually all of it online. Yeah, so
I mean, still a big week. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, if anybody knows anything about you or have been following you for a minute, you've been in the trenches.
Yeah,
You've been in the trenches.
You'll see me in the stores.
Yeah,
you'll see me.
Yeah, I went to the Walmart near our gym. I was like, hey, I'll kill some time, go get some extra steps in. I walk back there. I don't even walk in the toy aisle. I literally just take one glimpse at it
from a distance.
And I was like, oh, who cares? I'm like, I don't even want to go. I don't even want to be disappointed.
I will say for you guys listening, just a pro tip: if you are hunting the re-releases of the Spider-Man retro cards, they're not in the toy section. It's a whole new display that is on that like metal wall that like the Funko Pops and McFarlane Ultras, like that section
in Walmart,
in the electronics.
Yeah, they call it like the collectors.
Yeah,
something.
It's in that section, and it's its own brand new like little display. So don't look in the toy section. Yeah, well, check the toy section, but also that.
Immediately after I walked away from the toy section, there's a guy that we both know that came to our gym that works at the Walmart for a little while.
Yeah.
Who always got my name wrong.
I was going to say you could make up a name for him because he's going to get your name wrong.
Yeah. And he religiously got my name wrong and would just look at me in the face, say the wrong name, and then be like, oops, I'm sorry, and then call me the right name.
Yeah.
And then he was like, how's it going, Christian? And then I was like, oh, it's pretty good. And I thought to myself, oh, well, he got my name right. And then he was like, that's your name, right? Not Roberto? I was like,
frick?
I was like, yeah, I don't know.
What's your deal,
I'm
man?
like, Roberto. Like, last time it was Brandon. You thought I was Brandon. Now all of a sudden you're just...
He's just pulling out of a hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, before we get to our fantasy toy store, which I'm actually like super stoked to start diving into. This buckle up, folks. This could be a long one. I just wanted to make sure you guys have reviewed the show. You know, it means the world to us if you guys could leave a review. It's how people find the show. It takes 30 seconds for you, but it means everything for us. It's how other people are going to find the show. It's how podcasts grow. If we're going to do things like change to video format and do videos where we're out hunting, if we're going to take road trips to go to stores, we need people to find the show. And the way that that's going to happen is if you guys could just drop us a review wherever you're hearing the sound of our voices right now, that would be awesome. You know, if you're loving it, if you've, been listening and been like, heck yeah, they just mentioned the Taz ECW figure or whatever, and you're having a good time, make sure other people can have that good time with you. So drop us a review because it's super, super important to us, and we would really, really appreciate it. All right, should we get into a fantasy toy store? All right, so Christian and I are both avid vintage toy store goer tours. There's probably a better way to say that. But we spend a lot of time in vintage toy stores, I would say. More than the average bear for sure. And we also spend a lot of time, honestly, like maybe the reason that we decided to start doing the podcast is because we couldn't shut up about what we liked or disliked about various toy stores.
Correct.
If you guys have ever spent any time in the Austin area looking for toys, you maybe have shared this experience that everyone seems to have here, where there is an abundance of stores, but they seem to have like this mirage aspect to them. If you're in the action figure space specifically, if you collect banana socks or anime mystery bags or, Hello Kitty or something, then you're golden.
Yeah.
So we kind of wanted to go through like the categories or the like necessities of what would make the dopest toy store, and then just kind of pick apart like what places have that, what places don't have that, and kind of put it together. So kind of the first thing I was thinking about was just honestly product selection, right? Like what do they carry? Is it mostly vintage or is it mostly modern? So, and obviously this is subjective because you are almost all vintage.
Only, yeah.
Or
pretty much.
you
For
are.
the most part, I think if I like the most modern thing that I think I would collect as of right now would be some of those Power Rangers, the Bandai from like 2016, 2017.
Yeah, which I'd still say is vintage.
Yeah, that's probably as like close to now as I would get.
As where I'm kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
I have vintage, I have really vintage stuff, and
Yeah.
like I'm hunting stuff that came out yesterday.
Correct.
So I'm kind of all over the place. So for me, from my point of view, is the perfect toy store would have both of those things.
Yes.
Right? Because like for me, I'll go into a place and be bothered that one or the other isn't present. And I also think in the modern kind of figures like Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe Classified, what's like huge right now, wrestling. I would say McFarlane is
McFarlane's big.
McFarlane is
Masters of the Universe.
significant. Masters of the Universe,
Transformers,
TMNT,
Star Wars. Basically, all the big lines are really big.
Star Wars. The challenge there is if you only do brand new those things that we just listed, you're totally at the mercy of distribution.
Yeah.
I was actually chatting with the owner of Bat City Toys yesterday, and he was telling me, he was kind of voicing his frustration. He told me that he ordered the upcoming mask, like line that's coming out, like re-release or whatever you want to call it. like, oh, we're doing mask again. That, and he said that his order, not he ordered it as a retailer to sell, like at a wholesale price or whatever. And I forget what he said. They either canceled it or pushed it way back. And he's like, well, then how am I supposed to offer it to my customers? Because if my only way of getting it is aftermarket, then I have to put a markup on it. And we kind of had this conversation about how, yeah, that's a real problem in the modern figure space. There's a store here in Austin that's called Monkey See, Monkey Do. And they used to be on South Congress, which is like the tourist street in Austin. Like it leads to the Congress building. It's like
zero parking.
Yeah, it is the most tourist kind of spot you could possibly have. You're talking about Times Square in New York or like that sort of thing. And they moved, and they said that they wanted to be more they wanted to be less touristy, like less of a tourist trap. And you and I have both gone there recently, and both been colossally disappointed that it's like 50-50. It's like split down the middle. Like to the right is action figures. Those action figures are all brand new, and they're all marked up from retail price. Yeah. And then everything on the left is banana socks and bouncy balls. Yeah. Because they're still a tourist trap. Yeah. That's that's kind of what I'm talking about. Yeah. If there isn't a significant vintage section, you run the risk of kind of being nothing. Like to me, I'm like, hey, this toy store is perfect for the person that collects solely modern, like, but only in these specific lines. And even when I was asking, like, where's your vintage? We may have already talked about this on the podcast, but I asked him, like, I realized you guys don't have a ton of vintage, and he got kind of offended at me. He was like, oh, well, vintage it just goes really fast, man. It goes real fast. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he was like, yeah, also, like, he basically contradicted himself a little bit where he said, like, vintage goes too fast, but then people also buy our vintage. They want to buy our whole stock, but then we tell them, no, we need to hang on to it. Because he's just giving you a line of BS.
Yeah, it was like, man, because I asked him, he had a display at the top of the, like on the other side where the toys are, and there were like 4 or 5 figures that I would love to have bought. And I asked him, I was like, by any chance, are any of those for sale? And he was like, nah, man, those are just for display. Why? What you looking at? And I'm like, all of these. And then I brought it up, like, I realized you don't have any vintage type stuff. And then he was like, oh, well, like Mattel's going to like remake the DC stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. But I'm also just like, don't care. Like I'm collecting.
Also 18 months out.
Exactly. And I'm like, I still plan to collect the DC Universe classics. And I would love to have that Flash or that Martian Manhunter. And then we talked a little bit longer about it. And he was like, yeah, he told me the same thing. I don't really want to be that much of a, we don't want to be a tourist trap. And I'm like, really? Because I just saw a long line, which good for you guys. Like they said in the store, he was telling a guy that they've like tripled like what the sales would be on a normal Saturday were like triple the amount. And there was a line out the door, and I looked at everybody's hands, and it was banana socks, whatever little mystery box
wooden
type
trains
things.
and board games, and
I was like, man, okay, cool. Like this place exists for them, but it doesn't exist for me. And then I ended up telling him, because he asked about like, what do I specifically collect? And I told him, and he was like, oh, I should be getting some of those in pretty soon, like loose versions of them. And I was like, okay, cool. Like maybe I'll come back and check around. And I was like, honestly, it's just not worth it to me.
I went, I don't know, a month after you, and that stuff wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I didn't see like an empty section or something. Mm-hmm. Like, so
the thing was funny is he told me, he was like, yeah, we want to have like this type of toy store, like the kind of classic toys, like finger puppets or whatever. And over here, we want it to be like a KB Toys. And in my brain, I know we're being kind of harsh right now, but I was like, really? Not at all what I...
It's just, it isn't this, like, because you go to... We have to drive 3 hours in some direction to get to a place that has vintage figures, mm-hmm. right? Like, there's just not something in Austin. There really isn't. So if we're fantasizing the perfect toy store, it's gonna have like equal measure vintage and new.
Or they do have them, but they don't move them because
they're priced ridiculously. So that kind of brings us into another topic, which is like the pricing strategy.
Yeah.
When I was in Houston for my birthday, you guys can go back and listen to that episode where I go over it in detail. There was one store I went to where I was suspicious of how low the prices were. I was like, where are you getting this stuff from?
Was that Misfits? Or?
No, that was Happy Incredible Toys. I was like, dude, these prices are like kind of too good to believe. Mm. But Texas Time Warp and Misfit Toys, which are enormous, glorious, fantastic stores that I highly recommend. Well, I don't care where you're at, go to Houston and go to those stores.
Definitely destination spots.
Worth your time, because their pricing, I think, was right in the sweet spot. I didn't personally pick up anything and look at it and think to myself, whoa, this is crazy cheap. But I also didn't pick up anything and go, who the heck do you think you are? Mm-hmm. There's so many places around us here. There's one place in particular. It's called Collector's Crossroads. And I honestly feel totally okay burying them. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to tell you guys a little personal story. I don't know if you know this story, Christian, but like my girlfriend is from Austin, but we met in California. And before we had decided to move to Austin, we came out here to visit because her mom was getting married. Her mom was getting remarried. And the day before the wedding, they were going to go do their nails. And I'm just like along for the ride. So I hang out in the nail salon as long as I can tolerate. And I go,
5 minutes later,
I go, I'm just going to go walk around.
Yeah.
And then I find a GameStop and I find a Best Buy and I find like walk past like a Party City or whatever. And I'm walking like along the doors, like I go past, Petco, and I see windows that have like stickers of, video games and like Superman and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what's this? And I open the door and I discover Collector's Crossroads for the first time. And let me describe it to you guys. It's the size of a Ross, maybe bigger. The things that I just mentioned, Best Buy, Petco, it's in that place. It's one of those. And it is collectibles as far as the eye can see. There's a comic book section, like backstock and graded. There's a sports section of like, signed merchandise. There's a record section with like vintage records. There's like swords and purses from, the 1800s. There's video games. There's cards, sports cards or like collectible cards. And then there's a sizable action figure section as well, like significant action figure section. What this blew my mind. I've never had an experience where I was less anticipating something that was more mind-boggling. Like I'll remember that feeling until the day I die. That was in 2019 that took place. If I go there today in August of 2025, the exact same crap that I saw that first time is still there.
Crazy.
Because it is priced to not sell. Everything in there is priced to not sell, and they're not taking in anything new. So that pricing is like, okay, how are you priced? Are you priced to move stuff like Toy Vomit, like Dallas Vintage Toys, like Misfit Toys, like Texas Time Warp? Like, are you priced to, for me to come in, get excited, grab a handful of stuff, put it on social media, talk about how great you are on my podcast? Are you priced like Monkey See, Monkey Do, where you know that everyone you talk to is a straight up tourist that wasn't planning to be here in the first place? Or are you priced like Collector's Crossroads to be a museum that has the exact same stuff in it year over year over year over year?
Yeah, and you're putting things behind glass to, I guess, enhance their value or their perceived value, when it's like Dallas Vintage Toys has 30 of these, all just hanging out, appropriately priced, ready to go for you.
Yeah.
So now you're telling me that, like, you're also hiding the price tag. I've had to, like, if they're a glass case, I had to, like, get on my knees and then, like, look up and be like, oh, it's $50.
I've had 2 or 3 instances where I had to track down an employee in this enormous place, bring them over with the key, have them unlock the thing and lift it up so I can see the price tag, and then to their face go, nah, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Which was not fun.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah, the first time I ever went there, same concept. I think it was 2022. Went in there, and I did end up buying, I don't know, $80 worth of stuff, because there was some cool things in there. And then went back again, same stuff. Went back again, same stuff. So every time has been slightly different here and there. I did buy 2 Marvel Legends from there. I bought Nightcrawler and Doctor Strange. So that was like really surprising to see those, but still the same thing. Behind the glass, they have some cool DC Universe Classics figures, but they either put it behind the counter that nobody works behind and really high up. So all these things that are like, why are you making these seem like they're like these legendary grails that I have to just like, oh my God, can I have somebody come grab that for me?
Well, and also, okay, so you we've kind of talked about this already today. You go in there and you're more about the chase.
Yeah.
And I love the chase, but I'm more about the thing.
Yeah.
You're going to go in there, you're going to look at it, it's overpriced, and you're going to move on with your day.
Yep.
I'm going to go in there, see that it's overpriced, pull out my phone, buy it on eBay. I have made purchases on eBay standing in that store. See,
and I wish that we could tell them that.
Yeah.
Or they could witness you in full force doing that, so that they could, like, you know, of course for them it's just solely about like the profitability, I guess. I mean, you have a massive store that you have to, I mean, the rent there is probably like,
it's gonna be $20,000.
Yeah.
Like at minimum.
Yeah.
Like,
and we were trying to figure out, like, if these aren't selling, then what is? Like, how are you paying rent? Is like the baseball that you sold that's signed, is that like $5,000 here and there?
Well, and that kind of brings us to our next topic is, as a toy store, are you buying stuff? Are you advertising that you will buy my collection?
Mm-hmm.
If your rent is $20,000 and you're not moving anything, then you probably don't have excess budget to purchase things. And guess who's doing that in large quantities? Toy Federation, Toy Vomit, Dallas Vintage Toys, Misfit Toys, all these rad places that
Dallas
we're talking
Vintage
about.
Toys will literally make a post on Instagram that says, help us spend $100,000 today.
And I've been in there twice, and both times I was in there, they essentially had a line of people waiting to sell their stuff to them. Why does that matter to you listening to this podcast? Because that's stuff you get to buy.
Yeah.
And if those places aren't doing that, then they're going to be a museum like Collector's Crossroads.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're talking about. Like, I want to see them asking to spend money, right?
Yeah, not only that, but you see them, they'll post it quite a bit about, you know, how many things that they buy that are just like the same thing. You know, watching the Toy Federation videos, they literally go into the back, there's a tub full of, I don't know, 2,000 red Power Rangers. Which
he's explaining to the red Power Ranger.
He's explaining to the red Power Ranger. But it's like...
So that video that you're talking about, you had told me about that, so I went and watched the video.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got it on, and I nudged my girlfriend. I paused it, and this isn't to do with that tub of Power Rangers, but that's why I was watching it. and I told her a story you had told me. I go, Christian went to go sell toys at a local toy store recently, and he tried to give him, like, I forget what figure you said it was, and he said he didn't want to buy it from you because he already had one. And I go, look at the rack at the ceiling in Toy Federation. She goes, what are those? I said, those are Castle Grayskulls. There's, I don't know, 50 of them lining the ceiling of Castle Grayskulls. And you've got someone going, I don't need this one figure because I already have one. What a massive difference in philosophy that is.
Exactly.
Right.
And at those stores, like, obviously YouTube is definitely paying its dividends, and
Sure.
but still, like,
but there'd be no YouTube content if you weren't buying collections. It is the lifeblood.
I think one of the more beautiful things about, I mean, Collectors Crossroads, to be fair, what I'm about to say is like pretty fair on their pricing in terms of like the Star Wars Power of the Force or the Revenge of the Sith.
But what's more plentiful?
Well,
like what on earth is more plentiful?
That's true, but the idea,
there are more Power of the Force figures than there is water.
Yeah, that's true. There's I think one of the Toy Federation episodes, the guy says, he's like, oh, we just try to put things in there just to get them out. Like, I'm not going to try to have this on my shelf for 3 years. So it's like, hey, if I can put these at $5-10, even if they're worth like slightly more, like, who cares? Let's just get them out the door.
Right.
And to me, I love that. I love that. And we both obviously follow Toy Vomit, which is I think it's called
Kentucky.
Toy Headquarters. I think that's the actual
the official name is Toy Headquarters because the city wouldn't approve him for Toy Vomit.
Yeah.
So it's if you look it up, it's Toy Headquarters, but the windows and everything says Toy Vomit.
Yeah. So we follow him on Instagram every single day. Every single day, he's posting a cart with plentiful items of multiple different lines, like wrestling, Marvel, DC, comics, like all this stuff. Because that's how much they're moving on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you have appropriately priced items, you're plentiful with it. Because again, people are going to bring in gas, and if you turn gas away just because
you already have one,
you already have one or two of them,
Yeah.
and they're not selling or whatever, it's like, well, and like somebody's going to come by it at some point.
Yeah.
But these people are like constantly moving.
And if
things.
you're worried that you don't want a second of that figure because the first one isn't selling, the problem isn't that you already have one. The problem is that one is too expensive.
Yeah.
Because if it was the appropriate price, it wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And if somebody had bought it and you had a second one, then you'd be just fine.
Yeah.
Right now, things are moving.
Exactly. It's like, man, and we've talked about this before. And again, I'm not a store owner. And, I probably don't recognize or have the stress that a store owner could have. But if I go into, if I have a loose section and, the Superman figure would normally go as like, I don't know, sold for $39.99 on eBay. I'm like, all right, well, what if I just put it at like, I don't know, $29.99 instead of $39.99? That might move it faster. And like, yeah, you don't get $39.99, but what if the person just decided to leave that day empty-handed rather than buying that? So, but if I sold it for $29.99 or $24.99, they had a net gain of $25 rather than that person just not getting it.
The most likely scenario is that person went in there with some sort of budget in their mind.
Mm-hmm.
They found that Superman for $29.99. They got fired up, and they either found something else to fit inside the budget, or the most likely scenario, just knowing human behavior, is their dopamine starts going crazy and they forget the budget and they grab 3 more things.
Yep.
And then they take all of those 4 things and then they put that on Instagram or on TikTok or whatever and go, Christian's House of Toys and Crap is awesome.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that $10 that you didn't make on that Superman figure, was it worth it?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Whenever I went to Misfit Toys the second time, he had...
By the way, Christian's House of Toys and Crap, fantastic.
Toys and Crap. But the Misfit Toys had DC Direct figures from like 2000, 2001, in that range. I saw them, I was like, oh, these are so sick. I love their articulation's not great, but they just look very, very classic. $10.
Yo.
And I was like, 1,
yeah,
2, 3, 4. And then I was going to get more. But I think we were going to go to Texas Time Warp after that. And so I was like, I'll save some bullets. But I walk over there. I have a handful of them. I put them down. And the guy just grabs them. He's like, oh, man, these are cool. I just bought these from a dude, blah, blah, blah. Tells a story about it, whatever. Boom, 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 boom. Didn't make a big deal of it. $10. He was like, all right, $10. And guess what? He made $40 like right then and there. Simply because he was just like, all right, well, we need to, I just bought this collection and I'm just flipping it immediately.
Yeah, I mean, that would be my goal. Get rid of stuff as fast as possible to happy people.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Okay, so we've basically established if in Christian's House of Toys and Crap, the pricing is price to move.
Yep.
We've got a good selection of vintage and modern. We didn't really talk about it, but in the vintage, we've got a good selection of mint on card and loose.
Yes.
The loose is obviously displayed in a way where you can look through it and see it, and like you can see if it's complete or not. It's honest whether it's complete or not. Everything's clean and in good shape. Like that kind of stuff goes without saying. But to be honest with you, there's places around here that are not like that. But what does it look like? Like what's going on the inside? So for me, we didn't really plan this ahead of time, but for me, I love the like 90s bowling alley look. Like I love the neon geometric carpet that like is black light, like fluorescent or whatever you call that, incandescent. What's it called? Glow in the dark.
Glow in the dark.
Yeah, like I love that look. Like a perfect example is Kojo's Toy World. Like I think they're outside of Boston, and then Time Blaster Toys, which I think is in Minnesota. They both have like just that neon. Just like that 90s.
Yeah, it looks like a movie theater carpet, like from the 90s.
Like the arcade in the movie theater.
Yes, exactly.
Like that. And then the product is obviously part of the aesthetic. So if it's kind of the way that we've like been fantasizing it, then you combine those things, and then you'll usually see in some of the doper places too is like the stuff that they used to decorate Toys R Us with. You'll see a Millennium Falcon hanging from the ceiling, or you'll see, I think there are two different places that I know of that have a Castle Grayskull as like a doorway.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff is like the statues of Batman and stuff you see in a comic book shop. Like I love that stuff too as decoration.
Some of these stores, they look better than a Toys R Us looked back in the day.
Oh, for sure.
If you compared it,
because there's no bicycle section and everything else.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a Walmart. You know, it's like straight up. It's built to be a nostalgic. It's just like that's what it is. It's going to draw you in the same way that you would just have imagined. You know,
the other aesthetic that I'm like super into is more like in line with what you're saying. It doesn't have the neon carpets or whatever, but it's huge and it's all pegs and it's all really organized, and there's so much product that it just comes off like a Toys R Us or a KB Toys R Us. Like what was the place that Major Wrestling Figure Podcast went to that was just enormous?
I can't remember the name of it, but
but like that aesthetic of like it's almost a little more, I guess, sterile, but it's still, the product is so interesting that you could just get lost in there forever.
Yeah,
I don't know about the new Toy Vomit because I haven't been there yet, but I did go to the old Toy Vomit in Lexington, and that had a really cool aesthetic. It was almost like they had like, you know, painted and decorated, and then they got an amount of product that was so heavy you couldn't really even see what was going on anymore. It was just densely thick with stuff for sale.
That's what I love. I think Toy Hunters in San Antonio does a really, really good job at that, where you walk in and for the next 2 hours or however long you plan to be there, you're engulfed in toys.
Yeah.
You're engulfed. It just feels like from floor to ceiling, it's overflowing. Like it's overwhelming because there's so much of it, but that's exactly what it needs to be. It needs to be a wonderland of imagination. And I don't even care, like if I go in there, like again, that's the biggest thing, is that people will deny like, oh, well, these don't really sell that well, or like big figure, like you were turned away trying to sell inbox wrestling figures,
like dope inbox wrestling figures, like a 1 of 3,000 hook. No, we don't need that.
Nah, they just don't. Okay, so then you just shut down, I don't know, let's see, 90% of toy collectors. A lot of them love wrestling, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, man, you go into, again, another example, Toy Hunters, San Antonio. You go in there, they have everything you need.
Yep.
Every single thing. My girlfriend, we've talked about her a couple times on here, She loves a lot of things, will collect a lot of things based off of, oh my God, I love this. It's like, oh, A Bug's Life, or I don't even know.
Last Action Hero.
Like anything that's like Disney related, or, you know, like OG Disney related, that type of stuff, or just random little tidbits here and there, because they're just like, cool, yeah, somebody's going to like this. Yeah. This is a part of somebody's childhood right here.
Yeah. It's almost like organized chaos.
It is.
It's like, it's not chaos. Mm-hmm. Like, what's the place that says they're a toy store, but they're an antique store? That you're like worried that a shelf is going to crush you.
Out of the Past?
Out of the Past. Like here in Austin, which is like just a straight up rotary phone and lampshade store.
Yeah, I mean, I'm afraid that I'm going to like walk too far down a hallway and then end up in freaking Alice in Wonderland. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm worried I'm going to be like the Twilight Zone episode, crushed by newspapers.
Yeah.
It isn't that, but it is chaotic in the sense that it's wallpapered with figures.
Yeah.
Just like stuff.
Literally.
But it's in a fun way. It's kind of tough to describe.
Yeah. I mean, the cool thing is when we first went in there, the guy was like, have you ever been here before? And we were like, no. And he was like, what do you collect?
Yeah, let me point you in the right direction.
Yeah. And then he was like, over here, over here, over here. Yeah. Like, you got all these things. And then it was like, cool. And then just going in there and burying myself in that.
Yeah.
And even for things that I don't necessarily collect that much of, like Star Wars, they have an amazing Star Wars section with a lot of classic ships and other little display type things that are like...
Because it's always a blast to just look at everything, even if you don't collect.
Yeah, their dinosaur selection, again, both times that I've gone there, I've almost just been like, all right, I'm committing to the Jurassic Park collection immediately.
Yeah.
And that to me is like, man, that's what you want. You want people to come in here and be completely engulfed in the store. And to me, even if you are a tourist, like, that's still better. Because if they come in here, they're going to be mind blown that things like this exist.
Yeah.
And then they're going to have those doors in their brain open up constantly and be like, oh my God, I remember where I used to have this. Rather than Collector's Crossroads being that type of place that does exist for a lot of people in a way where they do go in there and they are mind blown.
I've seen people walk in there for the first time just like I did and watch their brain explode.
Exactly. But then they buy a $50 figure that they could have bought for $25 at a normal toy store.
FOMO prices.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's basically Christian's house of toys and crap.
Yep.
So the moral of the story for this TED Talk is either buy a store and let us run it, or send us the money to finance it, and then we'll have the ultimate toy store. So Literally. This was all a guise to self-serving.
Yeah, I mean, like, those places do a great job. They're like, all right, we're going to have a TV in here, and the TV is going to be playing episodes of whatever, or it's going to be like, they're going to make it to a point where it's like, man, like, can I have a sleepover in here?
Yeah. Dude, renting it out to do that would be awesome.
That would be crazy.
Just to get an N64 hooked up and get a microwave for pizza rolls and charge Airbnb rates.
Where do I sign the paperwork?
Okay, I think we just discovered $1 billion industry.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
An adult.
Actually, you know what? You'd have a section for that, because it would be like, all of these are loose figures, all free game. Like loose toys.
To play with?
So you get your hands on all of them. You get like all of that. And then you get like games. You had the same kind of carpet. Maybe get like old Blockbuster, like a Blockbuster smell. You know what I'm saying? Popcorn and
can
candy.
Of Blockbuster scent.
Yes, exactly.
Dude, I think we just uncovered a monster business.
That's crazy.
Sell the same candy that they had in Blockbuster, like snow caps and like bottle caps and stuff.
Yeah.
I would pay top dollar to do that.
Me too.
I don't even care if they're putting a 100% upcharge on the pizza rolls. I'd be in. Man, I'm going to be thinking about that for the rest of the day.
Me too. I might even go get pizza rolls.
I'm down. Dude,
yeah.
Altered Beast and pizza rolls when we're done?
Oh my God.
Let's do it.
Temptation.
All right, should we do the news?
Let's do it.
Well, LexCorp's going down. Whether it's me or Superman, who does it?
If it's Superman, that makes it news, and I'll be happy to print it.
All right, so we got a little bit of a slow news week again this week because we're still kind of coming out of that San Diego Comic-Con haze, but we're not totally without news. What I kind of picked up was There are some Marvel Legends that we already knew were coming, but the pre-order dates have kind of been announced. So if you're listening to this on Monday, tomorrow, August 12th, you're going to see a pre-order for that re-released Doctor Doom, which I've got up on the wall here. One of my greatest finds in action figure history.
$8, right?
I got it for $8 on a sidewalk sale in card. The re-release of the Ghost Rider is going to also happen on that same day. I'm stoked on that because I used to dabble in reselling, and I bought 2 of those Ghost Riders. I opened one for my collection, which I've got in my kind of street level display, and I sold the one on card because I didn't have an on card collection at the time, and now I do have an on card collection. So I'm stoked that figure's coming back out, and I've got another bite at the apple. On Thursday, August 14th, on Hasbro Pulse, you can get Rogue and LeBron James. I'm sorry, Gambit. You can get that 2-pack, that basketball 2-pack. And then on Wednesday, the 20th, on Hasbro Pulse is the brown suit Wolverine with the black suit Storm. That's a just killer 2-pack.
Yeah.
I love that 2-pack. That is so good. The Hugh Jackman mask is going up on Tuesday the 26th. The Mephisto pre-order is ending on August 26th on Hasbro Pulse. And then TBD, just kind of general fall on Hasbro Pulse, is the Cyclops and Jean Grey 2-pack. Also, the single-carded Storm in the black suit, the single-carded Mystique in the black suit, and then as we discussed, right now, depending on where you live, you might be able to find the retro-carded J. Jonah Jameson, Rhino, Sandman, and Cyborg Spider-Man. I need the Sandman and the J. Jonah Jameson. Bad. So that's it for the Marvels. Earlier this week on Amazon, the Mortal Kombat Classics went up for pre-order. And this is one of those ones where I'm just going to have to live with the FOMO, honestly. I think they are incredibly sick. There's just only so many dollars to go around. And I just have to swallow it and just not collect them as bad as I want to, because they're $30 each. And they just are not quite worth $30 each to me when you add up a whole line. You know what I'm saying? So
I think if I were you, you have a Mortal Kombat tattoo, right?
Yeah, I do.
So if I were you, then I would be like, all right, I probably would just buy the old figures and just display the card.
That's the other thing too, is I really, really have a desire to collect the 90s Kenner Mortal Kombat, G.I. Joe style figures, because I think those are just super fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I was gonna put money into it, that's probably where I would go, which is more money, but
it's cool. And I think one person in particular that I'm needing to shout out for, or not shout out, but pass those along to, that one of the guitar players for my band, Bryce, he is sort of he'll tag along to tour stores and gets just as fired up. And one of the things that he looks for in particular, which is Yu-Gi-Oh, which I could never care about in a million years, but he gets fired up on that. But also Mortal Kombat, is a diehard Mortal Kombat fan. And he kind of saw firsthand, the Storm collectibles. They look amazing.
Storm
and then it was
collectibles are insane.
$199 for a 2-pack or whatever. So once I saw these classics, I was like, oh, dude, I'm going to send those his way, just because I know he'll be fired up on that. So yeah. I like the idea, and I think that because they look so cool, and hey, man, if they succeed, they succeed. So.
Yeah. There was also Mondo put up a Galactus. Did you see this?
Yeah, that's cool.
I think it's awesome. It's kind of cartoony proportions, but I think it looks awesome.
You get a tiny little.
He's got his head, his face is kind of small, but his biceps are jacked. It's cool, man. If you've got a 401k, go ahead and pay what
Mondo prices.
Pay Mondo prices.
Yeah.
And then evidently it's the summer of Batmobiles, because Entertainment Earth has got a Spin Master 1989 Batmobile that I think is freaking rad.
It looks sick.
It's for a 3 3/4 Batman that comes with it.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah, the Batman's kind of whack, but the car is awesome. It's got the machine gun, and you love it when Batman kills people with guns.
I love when he has guns. That's the perfect Batman for me. So
And then McFarlane showed off the Batman Batmobile,
sick.
which looks incredible. I
Yeah.
love, dude, that scene.
One of the dude. I was grabbing my seat.
The chase scene of him chasing the Penguin is just
Revving that
burned
engine.
into my brain. The song from that scene is in my workout playlist. Like, oh my
That's sick.
god. Yeah. Did you see any other news?
I would say the only other thing is the G.I. Joe classified series Snowcat.
Oh yeah.
So I guess it's like the first tier. I didn't really look too much into this, to be honest, but I believe the first tier is funded. So I think there's 3 tiers.
So it's coming.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I was looking at the comments on
Well, the tiers is like the figures that come with it.
Yeah, but so some of the people are like fired up, and then the other people that I'm looking in the comments because I want to see if people share the same, I guess, thoughts that you and I have, which is just like, why is it so freaking
Why does it
expensive?
cost an astronomical amount?
Yeah, and the comments like, I'm still on the fence about it. Truly outrageous. And then somebody said that they think that it'll be scrapped by like the finish line because people are just going to back out because they're going to be like, oh my god, it's just too much. And then same thing, like this isn't worth $325. So part of me, again, it's not that I want it to fail, but I almost want it to be like, bro, just like relax.
They need to learn a lesson here.
Like learn a lesson.
Yeah.
Like, hey, it looks cool, but like, man, maybe $150 with the action figures included. So, but other than that, I think you named all of the news items. We can dive into the next portion.
Cool. Now let's do the exciting stuff. Let's talk about our top 10 figures that don't exist.
Time to do battle with those big-time action heroes! Giant Spider-Man and Giant Wolverine! Fire Sting! Grab the big-time battle grip and you'll control the big-time battle action! Big-time action heroes! Make the big guys walk! Make the big guys talk! Let's go, punk! Big-time Wolverine slashes! Big-time Spider-Man smashes! Spider-Man and Wolverine, the biggest big-time action heroes ever! Each sold separately.
All right, so we're going to do this top 10 style, starting at number 10. We've each curated a list of just the sickest figures that aren't in the world, that don't exist. What is your number 10?
Okay, so this is interesting, man. I told you, I think it was Thursday night. I spent Thursday night, I got home. I was rewatching Mindhunter, both season 1 and season 2.
Great.
Which, by the way, Bill Tench, he would be I've said this before, he'd be an amazing voice for Batman. I think he needs to be the new voice for Batman. He also would have been a better selection for The Thing in Fantastic Four, which I still have not seen.
Oh, good call.
Don't really care to watch it, but
yeah, good call.
But he looks like The Thing, kind of, where he's just sort of got this.
Yeah, he would have been great for that.
Yeah, I think it would be perfect. So while I was doing that, I decided to go old-fashioned with my approach. I pulled out my Marvel Encyclopedia.
Sick.
Like the old one.
Yeah.
I opened it up. Probably. Let's see.
I don't know
somewhere around there.
Mine,
But I pull it out. I'm like, okay, I'm going old school. I put my phone in the charger completely away from me. And then grab a notepad.
Grabbed a Crayola.
Dude, seriously. Open it up and I'm like, all right, let's go through and let's see some, like, let me get inspo from these things. Because at first I was kind of struggling. I was like, well, I feel like everything that I would have ever wanted would have been done. But then I felt challenged to dive deeper.
Yeah.
To think, what would you actually would have loved? And so some of these, like you said in the beginning, that it's like that never got made. I went a little bit of a different path and just said, here's some really amazing ideas that could have happened and I think would have succeeded very, very well.
Okay.
The first one, I'm a massive fan. Okay. I love, and part of what I want to do, they're just astronomically priced, is the Toy Biz box sets. Yeah. Again, I've talked about it the very first episode. Yeah. I think I mentioned.
I've been seeing those pop up more frequently, maybe because the algorithm is feeding them to me based on like what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
But they were never on my radar when they were like current.
Yeah.
I saw an X-Men one the other day that was like 4 X-Men and 4 Brotherhood in the same box. And blew my marbles.
Yep.
I couldn't believe how dope it was, but I think that was
That's
not
vintage.
a Marvel Legend. That was a Toy Biz like Marvel, but still, like, oh my god!
But it's still a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously those were smaller, so you had more
Yeah.
space to fit. There is an X-Men Marvel Legends like box set, and I think it's like Gambit, Beast, Rogue, Magneto, Wolverine. So that's a lot of 6-inch figures to add in there. They all come with their own personal like stand.
So great.
So that's where my mind went.
Okay, so your number 10 is a box set.
It's a box set. And there's one photo in the Marvel Encyclopedia that really stuck out to me a lot when I was younger, when I memorized that thing.
Yeah.
The New Avengers.
Okay.
Okay. So the photo, except mine was like an updated version, so it didn't have the photo, and I was like, oh crap. But when I went through and looked at it, it referenced the photo basically of the characters. So I would do the New Avengers box set, and my version of it would be what it was, which would be Wolverine.
Okay, I'm in.
Spider-Man or Spider-Woman. I think they were both in the New Avengers, so you can pick whichever one you feel is going to sell in there better. Luke Cage, Iron Man, Captain America, and I believe Sentry was another character in there. Don't really care about that character, but imagine going into Walmart in 2004, seeing a box set that just said the New Avengers and has all of those. Obviously, there's plentiful Wolverines, Captain America, Spider-Mans, but
still,
like seeing that pack with the logo of like a comic book on the back of it, whatever, like maybe it comes with some extra things. I think that would be amazing because I'm going back in time. This is where I'm doing. I'm going back, and I have 10 things that I can change without disrupting the flow of the future.
Yeah.
And I'm going back and I'm implementing these things to see as a 6, 7, 8-year-old me going into the toy aisle and being like, how can I fit this under my shirt?
God.
Yeah, exactly. All right. What's your number 10?
So obviously, I'm going to go to the wrestling space first.
Okay.
And I'm going to Japanese wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a guy that was prominent in the late 90s. And when it was going on at the time, I didn't know really anything about him, and I didn't really care about him at all. And in the last couple of years, I've become pretty obsessed with tracking down bootleg Japanese like Blu-rays of like matches and tournaments and stuff. I'm like obsessed with 90s era Japanese wrestling. I think that is just like the sweet spot. Like Misawa and Jushin Liger, and like these are my guys. Muda. And there was a guy so I have a couple of different G1 tournaments, which is like the tournament on planet Earth in wrestling. It's happening right now as we speak.
Gotcha.
But I have some of these ones from like the early 90s. And watching these tournaments that I had never seen before, I realized that this guy that I'm about to mention, who I didn't care about when he was on American TV, was an absolute hoss in Japan. And the reason that they brought him to America was for that reason, and they just mishandled him, not that he was boring. So he would be, in this instance, he would be in the Monday Night Wars line, which my like love-hate relationship with this line. Like it's probably the best line going today, but it's the hardest to track down. And the wrestler's name is Masahiro Chono. So this great Muda figure right next to you that I painstakingly acquired and then eventually committed a miracle. Do you commit miracles? Let's say you do. The storyline goes that they took the rivalry of the Great Muta and Masahiro Chono to the United States. Masahiro Chono was already in the NWO, and then they pretended to feud, and then he turned Muta NWO because the NWO was all about like deception and turns. So it's kind of ridiculous to have this Muta and not have that Chono. He was really capitalizing on the Matrix at the time. He had like the tiny glasses and like the liquid leather jacket.
Nice.
And like he just has a really cool look. And so discovering that he was actually just a dope wrestler, in addition to being an interesting look, in addition to being an NWO member, it's like mandatory to me. I need a Chono figure to put in this display. I would actually be shocked if it doesn't happen. He's currently a commentator for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Like, he's around. right? So all they got to do is like make that call, I would imagine. So yeah, Masahiro Chono, NWO, Monday Night Wars is my number 10. What do you got at number 9?
So number 9, give a little backstory. Whenever I first got into comic books and I decided I want to read comic books, I was mind blown at half-price books that they had a comic book section. We'd always go there when I was younger, wandering, looking, searching for something meaningful. Found the comic books and was like mind blown by it because I was like, wait a minute, like I thought, why would this be here? This is a boring place. You know what I'm saying? At the time. So I go over there, I start looking, and I'm young enough to where like the cover's just going to get me. So I buy a handful of them. You know, I bought Daredevil, I bought Spider-Man, and I bought X-Men. And one of the X-Men books that I bought was the very last of the Brood saga. The Brood saga.
Yeah.
Where Wolverine, basically everybody's infected by the Brood. Brood, right?
Brood.
Good Lord. Everybody's infected by it. Wolverine gets infected, but then his healing process basically stops the infection from happening. And I thought it was the coolest thing in the world because he gets like, I don't know, one dude that's like infected by it. He's on top of him or whatever. And he says something to him like right before he kills him. And then you just see the snicked like under there.
Good stuff.
So I thought to myself, I was like, all right, I'm going to do Toy Biz, Marvel Legends, Brood, Build-A-Figure Wave. Which has never been done.
Okay.
So I took a lot of the characters. I looked at it. I went through, actually pulled up Marvel Unlimited, did a deep dive, went through probably like 5 or 6 of the saga.
Yeah.
Just to see like which characters were like the more important characters, because that's what you would want to use for the line. It's going to be consistent for, 6 figures. Number 1, Cyclops. It's Uncanny X-Men, right? So brown suit Wolverine. Cyclops has the full blue suit with the hood.
Yeah.
Cyclops, he's going to come with a tail. Storm is going to come with a torso. Nightcrawler is going to come with, from what I could see from the artwork, they have 3 arms.
Okay.
Or like 6 arms.
Yeah.
So Nightcrawler is going to come with the left 3 arms, a big one and 2 small ones. Colossus, the right 3 arms.
Only in this space can you say something like that with just like a straight face, and I'm like,
Yeah, exactly. So this one's kind of tricky. I think it either would be Kitty Pryde or Lilandra.
Kitty Pryde.
Yeah. Going to come with the wings, and then Professor X will come with the head of the Brood.
Okay.
And I think if you wanted to, you could throw in infected head versions of each character.
Yeah.
Because I think the majority of them did get infected, other than Wolverine. Even though he did have a scene where he starts turning into one.
Yeah.
And then he turns back into Wolverine. So you could do that, but that is my number 9.
I love it.
It's never been done. And the Brood, good Lord, right?
Brood. 2
2
O's, like food.
Yeah.
And good. Wait, no.
Yeah, exactly. So I look it up because I'm kind of nervous because I'm thinking like maybe these already have been done or whatever. I look it up, and I think the only Brood some tongue twisters.
You might want to cross this one off.
Yeah. I look it up on Google, and there's just like an X-Men, like an old figure of it. So, no, but I was like, dude, Build-A-Figure Wave, let's do it.
That's dope. Okay, my number 9 might blow some minds, because I actually had like oh crap, I didn't realize this. What if I told you that the Spirit Halloween stores are opening up right now?
Okay.
If you walked in there, one of the most popular costumes across the board that you're going to see is Harley Quinn, right? Harley Quinn is a monstrous character,
right? Here
in the year 2025, the year of our Lord. She was invented in Batman the Animated Series by the legendary writer Dan DiDio. She debuted in that show. She found her fame in that show.
Paul Dini.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah, Paul Dini. She is not in the Batman the Animated Series Kenner line.
She was New Batman Adventures, or they just never made her?
They never made her. She's not in that line.
Wow.
which like I have a checklist that I reference constantly, and for whatever reason, I just never really put that together. That this, and she was born into life as a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She didn't like grow into a big deal. She was a hit right away. So my number 9 is just Harley Quinn from that line. Like, you know, you can the Batman animated series Kenner line loves to put completely fictional nonsense. We can give her a crowbar and a jet ski.
Yeah, exactly.
Just for value and playability.
The hyenas.
Yeah,
you know,
give her
you
some
could do a lot of
hyenas or
stuff.
whatever. But like, yeah, like I would love to have her on card on as part of this line. That would be amazing. What do you got for number 8?
That's cool. So number 8, so I'm going Marvel and DC.
Okay.
All right. So number 8, DC Universe Classics Aztec.
I don't know if I know Aztec.
My thought process was go and look at Justice League Unlimited because I love deeply those B, C, D rated characters that DC has. And Aztec was a pretty big character in the 90s. Didn't read a ton of his stuff. Grant Morrison, I believe, wrote one of the lines, but it was like Aztec, the ultimate man. But you can kind of pull up the picture really quick here so you can see that.
I don't know if I've ever even seen him before.
So he's in Justice League Unlimited.
I must have at some point then.
He literally doesn't have, so you can see. Yeah.
Yeah, it just didn't make an impression on me, I guess.
I'm almost positive he has 0 lines in that entire show. But I just love the way that he looks. I think he would have looked really awesome as a DC Universe Classics figure. He's also just like got this 90s sort of exaggeration of the costume to him. And I don't know. I just thought about that and I was like, that would be freaking awesome. So That's my number 8.
My number 8 almost happened. So the WWF Hasbro figures, my beloved 90s amazing legendary toy line. The final wave that never came out is public. You can see the, I think there's even prototypes, but there's definitely drawings and mock-ups and designs for them.
Mm-hmm.
They were just never released. And one of those that I think would just made the most sense and is kind of ludicrous that it didn't come out because even that wave that never got released would have been too late even at the time, which is Diesel. He was the WWF champion, like long running at the time. He's the super tall guy in red right there, Kevin Nash.
Okay.
So yeah, massive legend WWF champion Diesel in a WWF Hasbro figure is like a dream come true for me. They do have what they call retro figures, which is supposed to be like a spiritual continuation of that line. I just don't care about them because it's not real. They're not actually part of the line. It's not actually the same people working on it. They're not actually like that similar in my mind. So there is a Diesel in that. I just don't care about it. So yeah, number 8, Diesel, WWF Hasbro.
Nice. Number 7, I'm throwing it back again to the DC Universe Classics. I'm going with Shining Knight.
Ooh, okay.
Who also, again, had some lines in, I'm pretty sure he's got 1 or 2 episodes where he's almost a main character in Justice League Unlimited. But I just love that idea, which I believe that maybe he got somehow traveled through time to get to where he's at today. I need to look at his actual like origin story.
Yeah.
But I think he's a really cool character. McFarlane just released a new version, or I guess made a version of him, but I could care less about that. What I would do with it is essentially, just make him look exactly comic accurate and give him a horse. And that's exactly what the figure would come with.
Give him a horsey.
Yep.
My number 7, taking it back to the Monday Night Wars Elites, taking it back to the NWO, is Bryan Adams. So the thing about this is I'm supremely confident this is going to happen. Whenever they announce the next wave, I would be shocked if he's not in it because they just showed off 2 different crushes, which is the same person. They're playing a different character, but he is, I love the NWO B team. So you have like the really, really famous people, Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Randy Savage, and then everyone else they referred to, I think retroactively this name was put on them, was the NWO B team, which is just all the guys in the back, the guys who are taking the losses, whatever. I love the NWO B team. And Bryan Adams was one of the main people that was just constant throughout that. And so I would love it if he got an NWO figure to help me. Like, I want 100 figures standing in this ring.
Yeah.
And it would be awesome if he was one of them.
That's sick. All right, number 6. Still with DC Universe Classics, I'm going Vigilante, which is a character that has a toy for the DC Universe Classics. And he's also in Peacemaker, but not that Vigilante, the Vigilante from the classic one, the cowboy version.
Ah.
Yeah, I need to figure out.
I just watched a time travel episode of Justice League,
Mhm.
I forget which, because it's a bonus feature on the Green Lantern First Flight Blu-ray.
Awesome.
And Vigilante was he's in that episode.
Exactly. I would love to have that character. There's an episode of Justice League Unlimited where he rides a motorcycle. And for some reason,
Cowboy on a motorcycle?
Yeah, just like, I think that would be
the
awesome.
8-year-old in me just went, hell yeah.
You come with he has 2 guns. They both go into his belt, and then maybe he has a motorcycle on the side, and that's the toy that he comes with. So
fire.
Yes.
Okay, I'm taking a big left turn here
Okay.
into action movie town.
Okay.
We are both appreciators, but not necessarily customers of the current day NECA Ultimate figures. Probably the dopest figures,
Mm-hmm.
but they come in a really dumb box. So that's why I don't usually buy them. And they're almost exclusively villains, and I don't have like a horror collection as much as I love horror. But what I do have is a movie shelf of good guys. And what I need on that movie shelf of good guys is one of my all-time favorite movies, Die Hard, represented a NECA Ultimate John McClane.
Wow.
There is a NECA John McClane, but there's not an Ultimate.
Okay.
Like, I want swappable head with blood. I want swappable bloody feet. I want, like, different guns. I want, like the what do you call it? The fire hose. I want the NECA Ultimate treatment. John McClane from the first Die Hard movie with pitch perfect details and articulation. Sign me up for that.
Weird that they don't have that.
Yeah, they don't.
That's crazy. Need to watch that movie.
Dude, this podcast is putting you on Front Street.
It's exposing me.
It's just exposing you.
Yeah. Okay, number 5. This didn't really happen for them too much. There were some, which is the DC Universe Classics box set. They had 2 packs, I believe. Instead, I'm going full Justice Society of America box set. Okay.
How much you charging for this bad boy?
It would be expensive based off the amount of people I have in here. Okay, I'm just going to be exaggerative because, again, I'm just thinking about what I would see if I was young and just could not help but obsess over.
Let's do it.
So we're going Alan Scott, Green Lantern. We're going Jay Garrick Flash, Dr. Fate, Hawkman, the Spectre, Sandman, Hourman, and the Atom. And it includes a round table in the middle that comes with chairs because the table they sit on says the Justice Society of America.
Did you just get that off the mural in the background of Superman?
No,
movie?
I've just been thinking about that for a minute.
No, I love it.
But yeah, this would be all in their design. It would come with all of that. I would put the artwork as just, I don't know, like a throwback, maybe take some comic book covers and kind of mirage it all on the box and just make it as classic and silvery age as you possibly can.
Love it.
Yeah.
Saba, quit crying. If you guys hear my dog whining, she doesn't want to hear about action figures anymore.
But it's 8 action figures. I don't know how you're going to fit that in a box, but
let's try.
Let's try. Exactly.
What number are we on? 5?
5. Yeah.
All right, my number 5. I'm keeping it in the NECA Ultimates. I'm keeping it in the action movie. Doesn't really require a lot of explanation, but I will tell you, there's same situation. There is a NECA figure. There's not a NECA Ultimate figure. Give me Rocky Balboa.
Ooh, okay.
Give me swappable heads. Give me swappable hands. Give me a side of beef. And it can be literally from any of the movies, all of the movies.
Yeah.
Give me red, white, and blue shorts, black and yellow, red and white, white and red.
The gray sweatsuit type thing.
Any of them and all of them, like that Jack's Rocky line, which is just the only reason I haven't collected the entire thing is because it's so freaking expensive on the aftermarket. Let's just give that license to NECA and let them do the exact same thing as Ultimates.
Yeah.
And I will buy every single one of them.
It's a great idea. I love it. Okay, number 4, going with Mattel Justice League Unlimited, the 3 quarter-inch whatever figures, the 3.75 Watchtower playset.
Oh,
I don't think it's ever been. It might, maybe. I don't know.
playsets.
I didn't really look at it.
Think about playsets.
See, that's the thing is like toy lines were. They were not afraid to be crazy.
Yeah,
The flagship.
that's
like-
what I want out of the new Mattels.
Mhm.
I know we did a whole episode about this, but
Yeah.
I want them to go crazy with playsets and not fictional, but like their versions of stuff in addition to the real stuff. But yeah, let's get playsets.
Yeah, we get a playsets, but back in the day, they were like, all right, there's this massive playset. Guess what? It's not that expensive either. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, you're going to get it for Christmas, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's not that. It
Yeah,
wasn't
it's
that
not
crazy.
putting it on Klarna.
Yeah, but you would have a Watchtower playset. It would be scale for the Justice League Unlimited figures.
Okay.
So my thought process is that it opens up from the middle and basically just like butterflies essentially. And what it would do is it would come with a invisible, like clear stand that you would hook it on. So it would give this kind of like, it would look like it was floating.
Yeah.
Because it's in space.
Yeah.
But you would have like a dining hall. You would have like the John's like Martian Manhunter where he's like at the top, like the control center, the command center. You might even have like one area where they do like Green Arrow and Black Canary are fighting in a dojo.
Training
in a dojo, yeah. And then you would have like maybe like a vehicle set where maybe they have a couple of the little ships that come out with them that they could fit into. But then, yeah, you just have it in there where you could maybe fit like 3 or 4 figures where like, you have at the top, you got Batman, Superman, Martian Manhunter. In the middle, you've got, Black Canary, Green Arrow, Wildcat. Then you have on the dining hall, you've got some of these other smaller characters like in there. I think that would have been amazing.
Love it. My number 4, bringing it back to wrestling. This is like I don't even know if he's like cult classic, but it's like you got to be a real wrestling fan and like an OG wrestling fan. His name is Mike Awesome. He was the ECW champion for a while, and his name is so fitting. He's like 6'5" or 6'6", like probably 300 pounds, lean. A mullet, like how sometimes you look back on retro stuff and someone has a mullet and you go, that actually looks good.
Yeah,
like that looks good on them.
Mm-hmm.
As were other people, you're like laughing at them. He just rocked a mullet, and even though he was technically a giant, he's like diving over the top rope and doing like flipping sentons, and like he was like crazy athletic and doing these like wild hardcore bomb fests. He's just one of the dopest wrestlers who ever lived, and it would be great if the current Legends line would get his license and make a figure of him, because there's just not a Mike Awesome figure anywhere. I don't think. Maybe in the old San Francisco Toy Maker ECW line, but I don't think so. And I would love to have a Mike Awesome. For you wrestling fans who are listening to the show, I'm about to say something that is probably going to be really controversial. If Mike Awesome had been cast as Kane instead of Glenn Jacobs, the world would be a better place. Kane would have been a way better wrestler if it was Mike Awesome, and I think about that probably every day, especially because Glenn Jacobs is a just turd blossom of a person.
Wow.
So yeah, my number 4 is Mike Awesome.
All right. My number 3, we're going back over to Marvel. We're going, they did right before Hasbro took over, I guess before Toy Biz went out of business, they did the Toy Biz Marvel Legends Face-Off series, where they basically took main characters and they had their arch nemesis, Daredevil, Kingpin. They would do variants of those toys. And then, so it'd be like, okay, Daredevil with his mask on, and then the variant would be his mask off. Kingpin would wear like a black suit and then a white suit, something like that. Hulk and Leader, Captain America and Red Skull. That Captain America is the best, probably the best, in my opinion, Captain America toy out there.
Okay.
The Hulk, also incredible. Probably
take a picture of that Hulk.
Yeah, it's amazing. They did Wolverine.
I see on Reddit a lot. People will try to take down the Maximum Hulk, and they use that Hulk to go, why would I need that if I have this?
Exactly. They have Wolverine and Sabretooth. And so I started to expand a little bit more. I was like, well, they hit a lot of the popular characters, but what if you just kept going, right? If they had not gone under, and they kept producing. So these aren't that crazy, but number 3 would be Mr. Fantastic versus Doctor Doom.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I mean, like, why wouldn't you have that?
Yeah.
Right. And they do, I think they come with like a backdrop, and then they come with maybe a couple different supplies or like little accessories or whatever. But easy. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so down. My number 3 is there are a lot of figures of this wrestler, but no modern ones. And here's the thing with AEW Jazzwares, and this is more of a Jazzwares problem than it is an AEW problem, is that they just are always late. Everything that comes out, whether it's sick or not, it's late. And they have like a sub line that's called the Luminaries, which is like Legends, right? Sting has been in it a bunch, like Chris Jericho. So basically anyone who's contracted to AEW in any capacity, they can be a commentator, a coach, like just a backstage person, their license to make figures is available. And they just don't do it. Like they could make Jerry Lynn, they could make Dean Malenko, they could make all these legendary guys, and they just don't do it. And one of their head commentators is Taz, who is like one of, if not the ECW legend. Like he's a monstrous legend. And they just haven't made a prime Taz figure. And honestly, he's my number 3, and it's pissing me off. Like, it's just money sitting there. They had when Sting was doing his retirement run, he requested that Ric Flair be a part of it. Ric Flair appeared on AEW TV, I don't know, 4 times. He's got a figure and a chase coming out like this year. He's Ric Flair, so I get it. The legend status is apples and oranges, but still. He was on TV 4 times. Taz is there today.
Wow.
And there's not a Taz figure. And like, get on it, Jazzwares. Like,
gotta be some weird politics or some other kind of strange thing.
I think they just haven't thought of it, to be totally honest with you, because it's just money just sitting there. He's so toyetic. He's so like he has like not the most amount of fans in comparison to somebody like Ric Flair, but his fans are rabid. And like he's the human suplex machine. That doesn't get any cooler than that. Give me a Taz figure.
That's amazing. All right, number 2, sticking with the same line.
You can do your 2 and your 1 because my 2 and 1 are a package deal.
Perfect. Okay, so my number 2, same thing. Face Off, Marvel Legends, Toy Biz, Ghost Rider versus Blackheart.
Oh,
exactly,
dude, I'm so in.
Yeah, come with that. I don't know. I was trying to think about the variants of them because I wanted to be in the same vein where you do like a standard Blackheart figure, you do a standard Ghost Rider figure, and maybe one of them would be like the other one would be like the Spirit of Vengeance, and then maybe Mephisto, or something like that. Like you would just alter them.
Wait,
slightly.
what line are you doing this?
This is the Toy Biz Face Off series.
Oh yeah.
So because they would do that.
I'm going to piggyback on yours. I'm going to copy you, and I'm going to do an additional just retro card Marvel Legends Ghost Rider wave. And just copy everything you're about to say.
Okay.
Just double it up.
Yeah. I mean, so I was mentioning about how like the variants would either do different versions of the characters, and they would also, so Captain America had Red Skull was like one of his villains. The other villain was Baron von Strucker or something like that. So with the Ghost Rider, you do Ghost Rider versus Blackheart, and then Spirit of Vengeance versus Mephisto or something like that.
Sick.
So you'd have 2 different versions. My number 1 would be one that I think kids around the nation, that we always used to talk about. I remember being in these like crazy in-depth conversations with people, as like a 10-year-old just standing up and, where the judge is order, banging the gavel of Face Off, Thing versus Juggernaut.
Ooh.
Because we always would talk about that. Like,
that's a schoolyard argument.
Yeah, because I always felt like with the Hulk versus the Thing doesn't really get his time in the sun as being this like he doesn't hold the same level of like fear that Hulk brings
Right.
and that Juggernaut brings.
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, the episodes of like X-Men, whenever like Juggernaut's coming to the mansion, it's just like, oh God, we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
You know, Wolverine getting thrown through like 10 walls or whatever, trying to take on the Juggernaut. It's amazing. I think, I'm just thought about this now, I probably would do like Thing versus Juggernaut, and then the variant would probably be Hulk versus Juggernaut.
Yeah. Dude.
I don't know, something like that.
Fire.
Yeah. So that's my top 10.
Okay. My number 2 and my number 1 are going to come in the same box.
Okay.
You cheated. You just straight up cheated by doing all these multi-packs, but it's fine.
Well,
It's
I mean,
fine. Let the record show.
That's harder to think about.
Let
in
the
my
record
opinion.
show that you're taking performance enhancing 2-packs.
Okay.
So my number 2 and my number 1, they're going to be in the same box. They're part of the same line, and that is the Marvel Legends VHS 2-packs.
Okay.
So we're doing the cell shading.
Ooh, I think I know what's coming.
Yeah, I think you do. Because I thought of this long before we ever decided to do a podcast, and it has been etched in my mind ever since.
It's been plaguing you.
It is plaguing me. It's a curse. It wakes me up at night. So the VHS 2-pack. So I think those are Marvel Pulse exclusive. At least they were when they were coming out. There hasn't been a 2-pack in a minute. So the box that looks just like the Spider-Man animated series VHSs. And the number 2 figure is from Spider-Man the animated series, Blade. Like, if you're a fan, you can close your eyes and you can picture what that version of Blade looks
That
like.
may even be the best iteration of Blade.
One of them. Yeah, it's up there. You have that version of Blade, right? And then the other figure, my number 1, is still Spider-Man the animated series version of the Punisher. We're talking like light blue, gray trench coat, white headband, like kind of cartoony kind of guns, cell shading. Like, give me a 2-pack with Blade and the Punisher from Spider-Man the animated series, and I am not being hyperbolic. I could die happy.
It's mind-blowing that has not been done yet.
Yeah.
I'm like, has it crossed their mind? I know people were like, you know, iffy about the Punisher, but then they've made more Punisher stuff.
There's no iffiness anymore. They're cranking out Punisher
exactly.
stuff.
So I don't get why they wouldn't do that. I think that's one of my favorite iterations of the Punisher.
Yeah.
I think that'd be amazing.
Dude, on the WWE 2K game, I make my gear for my character that like black, white, and blue, gray like color scheme because I love the way that Punisher looks.
Dude.
And I'm a Punisher fanatic, and I love bloody, gruesome, rated R, adult, violent Punisher. And I love cartoon for the kids, that Punisher in equal measure.
Yeah, he's got a big giant sci-fi gun that just shoots out a net. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of stuff. And I love the way that they did him because he's just roaming New York, and he's like, there's a freaking mutant spider attacking people. Yeah. I'm going to stop him. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's just the best. Yeah, give me Blade and Blade who needs plasma. Blade and Morbius, they don't need blood, they need plasma.
Dude, and Blade,
because you couldn't say blood.
I see.
You couldn't like show blood or talk about blood. The theme song to Spider-Man is radioactive spider blood, but you couldn't say it in the show.
Weird. His motorcycle was sick too.
Yeah, dude, the motorcycle.
So it's funny, you didn't name one on here that I had as my number 8, but erased because I was like, he'll have it.
What is it?
The John Romita Jr. Daredevil.
Oh, yeah. The tracksuit.
The tracksuit with
Daredevil,
the black.
You're now making me realize I cannot believe that didn't come to mind. Dude, Adidas tracksuit, taped fists, Daredevil is one of my favorite just visuals in the history of fiction.
Yes.
Let's throw that out there as our joint number 1.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's our top 10 figures that don't exist, and we are curious to know yours. So hit us up at Mighty Champions on Instagram. I'm genuinely serious. I want to know what figures you would want to happen that never happened,
or kind of do what I did, which is essentially like, obviously a lot of these figures are in abundance, but you could just like imagine, put them together. Like what would have been amazing for the 10-year-old version of you.
Yeah. What did we miss about a fantasy toy store? Whatever you want to chat about, hit us up at Mighty Champions. Definitely make sure to hit subscribe and leave us a review because we would really appreciate it. It helps us grow, and if we grow, we can buy more toys and we can tell you about it. We can do toy hunts. We do group toy hunts and take you guys with us, but we need an audience sizable enough to get that done. But we definitely appreciate you guys sticking with us on a long one today, and we will catch you next time. Peace.
Time to do battle with those big-time action heroes! Giant Spider-Man and Giant Wolverine! Fire Sting! Grab the big-time battle grip and you'll control the big-time battle action! Big-time action heroes! Make the big guys walk! Make the big guys talk! Let's go, punk! Big-time Wolverine slashes! Big-time Spider-Man smashes! Spider-Man and Wolverine, the biggest big-time action heroes ever! Each sold separately.